Hey, what's up everyone? Monado Max here, and today we have our tradition Nintendo Direct E3. Wait, hold on, there's no E3 this year. We have our typical Nintendo Direct predictions video because, well, there's not been one announced yet. I think it's pretty safe to say there'll be one in June. If not in June, there's going to definitely be one in the summer. I think it's definitely safe to say that. So we're going to go ahead and do our, I guess we'll call it either June/summer predictions for the Nintendo Direct that happens. I got a crap ton of people with me today. A new face, some familiar faces. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. We have J. Matthew.
Hey guys, you've seen me on a few of these over the past year. It's good to be back, and I like predicting Nintendo's antics.
We have a new one, Botox Media.
Woo! Excited to be here. I'm glad to join you guys for some E3 talk. Well, not E3 talk.
R.I.P. R.I.P. And then we got Itachi Cosplays.
What's going on, everyone? I'm ready to talk about Jeff Keighley's Summer Game Fest.
Dude, I know. Dude, there's gonna be a Nintendo Direct that'll be like on the same week as the Summer Game Fest, and then Jeff Keighley's gonna be tweeting, "Wow, guys, Nintendo Direct #Summer Games Fest." I got one I want to start off with. I think whenever this Direct happens, we're gonna see a, I guess, somewhat big Switch game. It depends how Nintendo markets this. Announced and shadow dropped. That game has already been leaked by many people. So this could be a real leak. It could not be. I mean, it makes sense for this to be the case. But I have a sequel to 1-2 Switch on my list. This feels like the type of game they're going to shadow drop and announce within the same day. Kind of like how they did Game Builder Garage. I don't think this game's going to get a physical copy. I might be wrong, because, I mean, Game Builder Garage got a physical copy. But I expect whenever this Direct happens, they're going to go ahead and announce this game and announce that it's going to be available immediately after the Direct. And I think one of the big things about this game that's going to be different from 1-2 Switch is they're going to focus heavy on online play. I think that's what the trailer is going to be showing a lot of. And I think it's probably going to be like a $30 game. I think it's going to be mediocre at best.
One of my biggest wants over the past few years, and probably will never happen, but I want more NSO games now more than ever, as the Wii U and 3DS eShops close. I think the other day, if they finally removed like the ability to actually add funds to your credit card like directly on the system, now you have to like buy an eShop card and like put it on the website or something like that. I don't really know specifically. But I hope we do get GBA in Game Boy, which has been rumored for probably the past year. I think it's the most likely to happen next.
To add on to what you're saying, I guess we can kind of connect the dots with this. I have something on here that they're going to announce something that you get free with the Nintendo Switch expansion pack. That seems to be a thing that they like to do now, is you get a free DLC, like, you know how they got the Octo expansion, you're getting that for free if you have the Switch expansion pack. Also Mario Kart 8 DLC, all that. I think they're going to announce a new expansion that you get for free when you're already a member, just to add more value to that subscription, because that seems to be a theme that they're going with every few months, is adding something new. So I have that on there. Boom.
This isn't one of my predictions, but once again, adding to that, I think a great expansion for the expansion pack would be Torna. Getting people ready for E3. I think that'd be Nintendo's not really making that much money on Torna at this point. You might as well just throw it on there. It's a DLC. Octo expansion with single player. They're doing single player stuff too. So I think Torna is one of the safer bets for DLC they can do.
That'd be pretty big.
Yeah, for sure. That'd be the best thing on there.
Yeah.
But my first prediction. So last year around the same time, there was a pretty big rumor that the 3D Mario team was making a 2D Donkey Kong. Now, I don't know if any of that's true. Frankly, I hope it isn't. However, a new 2D Donkey Kong would be awesome, and I think we will get one from Goodfield, the developers of Kirby's Extra Epic Yarn, and Woolly World. I think a 2D Donkey Kong game in their style is perfect. Frankly, I don't want to see the 3D Mario team wasted on a 2D game. So I think Goodfield, they've done enough Yoshi, they've done Kirby. I feel like Donkey Kong would be a great kind of stepping stone into another Nintendo franchise for them.
So let me ask you this. Do you think that's going to come out this year, if they announce that here?
If No, I think it'd be like next spring. It could be, if one of the previously announced games for this year gets delayed, but I don't think there's gonna be that much here that releases this year that we don't know about. Maybe like 1 or 2 smaller games, but that's a pretty big game. So I think it'd be early next year.
I have a feeling that when they ever do announce that rumored Donkey Kong game, it's gonna be I think it's gonna be 2.5D. I think it's gonna be.
Oh, that would be awesome.
I think it'll be 2.5D. I think it's gonna be 2D at times, and I think it's gonna be 3D at times. And I think there's been like so many conflicting reports because of that. I think people have like, if those reports hold any truth, then it's because they've seen both aspects of that game.
All right, Tachi, you're up.
All right, so I'm a strike first, really big. I say it every time, and I am I'm confident it's gonna happen this time. It's been 3 years since it was announced. It's been 3 years since it was announced. We haven't seen anything about it since then, and I say it every time. And Broken Clock is right at least once a day. So I'm gonna go ahead and go with Silksong. I think it's finally time. I think people predicting it for Indie Worlds. I think Silksong is too big now for Nintendo to show it off at an Indie World. I think they've been waiting for a big Nintendo Direct to do it, and I think their summer, or what would have been their E3 Direct, I think this is where they're gonna show it off. And if it's not, then the game doesn't exist and it was a lie, and, we'll never see it again.
I completely agree. People expecting this in an Indie World don't understand how big Hollow Knight is. For clarification, this game was on PS4 and all that before Switch, but Nintendo debuted the first game at E3, and that was just the first game. Silksong has so much more hype behind it now.
All right, I got a little mini one here. So obviously the beta test for MultiVersus has been happening, and the big question is for everyone is, why is it not on Nintendo Switch? I believe this game is coming to the Switch. I think there's probably some development issues with the Switch version, and they're trying to make it perfect as possible. Because Warner Brothers, they do a pretty good job on their Switch ports in terms of hiring the right companies to do it. And I think they're going to potentially announce this here, maybe a release date that it's coming later this year, because that's just going to be like a huge missed opportunity if that's not on the Switch. I think they're just trying to get like a perfect frame rate for the game, just so, you know, everything's going to be perfect because it's cross-platform, all of that. I think they're going to announce that here.
All right. So we now finally have a release date for Splatoon 3. Nintendo's probably biggest game that's still coming out this year that we at least know of. We don't really know about Holiday. But we do know that Xenoblade also got moved to July, so we assume that they got swapped out, so they probably have to fix some things. But anyways, instead of just showing some more gameplay in the Direct and more trailers, I think they're going to announce a big Splatoon 3 Direct to finally, you know, sum up expectations for the game before September rolls around. Because not only will they probably show gameplay and trailers and more features, but I think they'll announce a Splatoon 3 test fire demo.
Ooh,
because if you think about it, on the Wii, even the Wii U game had a test fire. First game had a test fire, and Splatoon 2 had a test fire before their releases. So I think they'll announce a Splatoon 3 Direct where we will get a Splatoon 3 test fire demo.
All right, I'm gonna break some hearts.
Oh no.
Oh no. Oh no. Okay, so Breath of the Wild 2.
Oh, could you?
Game, I'm sorry.
No.
This game, okay, so this game we know is not coming out until 2023. They did not give a window or a time frame. They just said 2023, which is fine. Take all the time you need, Aonuma. Cook it up. I'm not going to be surprised if it's shown, but I don't really think it's going to be shown. I think what's going to happen is, this is a kind of a multifaceted prediction, we're going to get something else announced Zelda related, probably Wind Waker and Twilight Princess HD. And then Aonuma's going to do his standard thing where he says, sorry, not showing it right now. And then we'll see it in the September Direct, and that's when they'll start blowing it out. Everybody's saying this is going to be the big blowout like E3 2016 was for Breath of the Wild. I just don't see it. They kind of needed it that year because they were just kind of waiting to reveal the NX at the time. This year, they don't really need that. So, unless they're just completely void of any other big games to show, I fail to see the actual reason, other than just me wanting it, to show a substantial amount of Breath of the Wild 2. There's a chance we get like a small trailer, maybe even with a title, but I don't think we're getting a blowout for this game at the very least.
I actually agree with that. What I have written down is that they're going to show maybe like 20 to 30 seconds of new footage of the game. And then that's when they're going to go ahead and announce what you said earlier, the Wind Waker Twilight Princess collection. I think they'll announce that's coming out probably like October, November timeline. And I think that's going to be the thing that they focus more on is that collection and just give an update that the game is still happening. Breath of the Wild 2, it's coming. Stay tuned. Here's 30 seconds of footage, and then they move on to the next game. Is how I see them doing that.
Yep. Yeah. I agree. I wrote that down too. I know I yelled how could you, but I agree. I don't think they're gonna show it off. I think that the actual blowout will be during their fall direct because I think that they're gonna line it up for very early next year. I do think Wind Waker HD Twilight Princess are coming, and my slot for that is late September, early October. So I'm gonna bring back an older prediction that I had a long time ago, and it's still I don't know if it ever made a cut. It might have been our first ever recording, and I just never brought it back because I didn't see an opportunity to. It's about Zelda, so I'm piggybacking off that. It's something that they would probably want to release. So they tend to release a new Switch Online game every year, and even if it doesn't stay the whole time. But like, correct me if I'm wrong. Did Pac-Man 99 come out last year?
Yeah. February last year.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So they it seems like they're doing something every year, and I know Zelda's anniversary is over, and it's not as likely anymore. But I have a feeling that they might be able to do a Four Swords, Triforce Heroes kind of game for Switch Online. And it would be brand new or take assets from Triforce Heroes, just something like that. I don't expect a port of Triforce Hero or a direct or an upscaling or a remaster of Four Swords, but just something like that, same assets for Switch Online.
Okay, now imagine this. They ruin all our dreams, and they're like, we're bringing a brand new Nintendo Switch Online game to the service, and it's the 1-2 Switch sequel. Okay. And then it's going to be like either you're going to have to pay for it, and then if you're an expansion pass member, you get it for free on there. It's an added bonus.
I can see it too. I can see you being right about that.
Oh my gosh, that's what's going to happen. Okay, so I'm doing a big one. There's been rumors that popped up, I believe it was last month, about Bandai Namco and Nintendo doing another project, and that it was... I think the reports were saying that it was going to be a 3D game that they are remaking. I just want to say, I talked about this game like 7 months ago, so take that L, everyone. I reported this first on this channel. Anyways, I believe that game is actually potentially going to be announced here. I don't know how far in development this game has been made, so it depends how much development time's been done. If this game's almost done, I think it's going to be shown off here with an early release date for next year. If it's not nowhere being close to being done, it's probably going to be saved for like September. But I think the game that Bandai is actually making is Kid Icarus Uprising. Remade for the Switch. I know a lot of people think it's Star Fox Assault. I can't see it being Star Fox Assault. Everyone's been asking for Kid Icarus Uprising on the Switch.
That's right.
It makes sense for it to be Kid Icarus. And maybe it's going to be something obscure, but I'm assuming it's going to be either a GameCube or 3DS game being brought over to the Switch, with Bandai Namco being fully developing the game. And I think it's Kid Icarus just because they've worked with Sakurai in the past. Maybe they'll be asking Sakurai for a little guidance. I think it just makes sense to be Kid Icarus.
Well, this would also be a great way to kind of warm Sakurai up again after slaving away on Smash Brothers.
That is also true.
Have him kind of lead the project with Bandai Namco, who he works with. Because I saw all those people saying like, oh, it's gonna be a Star Fox game. Like, that doesn't really make sense. Kid Icarus is the game that makes sense to fit that rumor for sure.
What I had to say is a little small one. I'm sure everyone has thought of this, but I think they're just gonna puke out Advance Wars.
Aww,
this point.
Oh no. I was gonna
say it like that.
But...
Yeah. I think soon they'll probably drop Advance Wars. I mean, we know it's done. think people had access to it for a little bit, if I'm wrong.
Yes, they
Yeah.
did.
If you preloaded it, you could play it for a little bit in certain like countries or something.
Yeah. So I feel like they're probably ready to just drop it.
All right, so this is one I definitely said in a video back in February, and I'm still surprised it didn't happen, though it kind of happened. I think a new Fire Emblem game is going to be announced. It has been over 3 years, or about to be 3 years now, since Three Houses came out, and obviously we're getting Three Hopes next month, the Warriors game. That doesn't count. There is no way there is not a mainline Fire Emblem game in development, either at Koei Tecmo, who did Three Houses, or at Intelligent Systems. So I'd be shocked if we don't see Fire Emblem here, be it a new game or a remake of Genealogy of the Holy War. Fire Emblem passed. Like, think about it. On 3DS, there was a new Fire Emblem game like every other year.
Mm-hmm.
It's been 3 years. I think we are long overdue for something mainline Fire Emblem.
So I think that is going to happen later this year, that announcement. Not here.
Remember Direct?
The only reason why I say that is with Fire Emblem Three Hopes coming out, I feel like Nintendo's going to push heavy on that game. If they announce a new Fire Emblem game, I feel like that might kill the hype of Three Hopes.
All right, so we've had some pretty bold predictions, pretty big ones. I'm gonna take it down a notch and give like a guarantee. Like if it's not here, I'd be a little concerned. This has to be guaranteed. I think the direct is gonna start with Booster Pack 2 for Mario Kart.
Ooh. Oh yeah.
I think
itching.
yeah, I think that's how it's gonna start.
All right, so I got potential disappointing one coming up.
Uh-oh.
I don't know. I feel like this is a good possibility of happening, considering we haven't really heard much about this game since last year, but they did say it was coming out this year. So, and I also have a theory of it still could be coming out this year. So, I think Bayonetta 3 will be here. I think it's possible that it's going to get delayed, but I also think it's possible it could still be coming out this year. And the reason why I'm about to make the biggest tinfoil theory out there, but just hear me out. So obviously, Xenoblade 3 was supposed to come out in September. Splatoon 3 was definitely supposed to come out in July. I don't care what people say, that game was supposed to come out in July. I believe they switched the release dates of Xenoblade 3 and Splatoon 3 because they don't want Xenoblade 3 to compete with Bayonetta 3. Because I feel like if Bayonetta 3 was to come out this year, it would come out in October. I feel like the audiences of Xenoblade 3 and Bayonetta 3 are very similar, and if they release close together, they're going to be fighting each other in terms of sales. Whereas Splatoon 3 is such a huge franchise, it's for kids, it's for everyone. There's not going to be people fighting over that game, unlike Xenoblade 3 and Bayonetta 3, where it has targeted audiences. I think those games got switched release dates because of that.
I like your thought process. However, it is hilarious because Xenoblade got moved up and now it's going to completely cannibalize Live Alive.
That is
makes me sad.
True.
I actually had Bayonetta 3 listed here. I'm conflicted with this game. Platinum Games is kind of in shambles right now with Babylon's Fall and everything. I don't particularly think it's coming out this year, but if it does come out, I do think it'll be in like December. But I like your thought process for sure, not wanting to rub up against Xenoblade.
I think it's coming out on Halloween.
Yeah, so I think we're finally gonna see more info on Mario and Rabbids Sparks of Hope.
Ooh, I
Yeah.
forgot about that game.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Everyone forgot about that game. Nintendo definitely did, and Ubisoft. But the first game came out in August 2017. I think this one also has potential to come out in August, or maybe even just holiday in general. I'm pretty sure they did say 2022, so I think it's about time they show more on that. And in my opinion, I think Mario Rabbids 1 is a pretty good game. People give it too much slack.
I love that game.
It's really good. I have so many friends that will not play that game because of the rabbits, and it
Just
hurts
'cause
me
it's
so
rabbits in
much. Yeah.
That sucks.
Okay, I got another big boy. Metroid is in a pretty good spot right now. Metroid Dread is the best-selling Metroid game of all time. I don't think we're gonna see Metroid Prime 4 again. Every year people make predictions about Metroid Prime 4. I don't know, man. I just don't feel like it's ready.
No.
However, with that said, if Nintendo even taking away all like the rumors I've heard and everything, if Nintendo does not capitalize on how well Dread did by releasing either a Prime trilogy or a remake of Prime 1 this year, they are insane. So I do think we will get some sort of Prime trilogy or remake announced with a little like statement saying, hey, Metroid Prime 4, you'll see it next year. Don't worry about it. But I don't think we're going to see Prime 4.
That's exactly what I have written down. Like, word for word, that's how I think they're going to announce it. I think the question is it going to be the trilogy or is it going to be the first game? Because
I hope it's a trilogy.
This game's been rumored since 2018.
They're going to charge 64 regardless. Give me the
trilogy. The report said the trilogy. Last year it changed from the trilogy to one game. And then...
complete remake.
Yes. And then also the rumors were saying that it finished in 2018. The trilogy was finished. Like, they already had that fully developed. They were just waiting to release that closer to when Metroid Prime 4 was coming out. I think, as you were saying, with Metroid Dread being the biggest Metroid game, there's a lot of Metroid hype right now. It makes sense to release another Metroid game this year. And I think Nintendo should definitely release whatever it is they got planned with a trilogy or a remake, whatever it is they have planned. That should come out this year, especially if the rumors of it being already done. It's now time to release it. Don't wait closer to Metroid Prime 4 because it's going to kill the hype that Metroid's got going right now with all the new audiences.
All right, so I'm gonna turn a safe prediction. The first part of it is safe, and then the second part of it is a little bit less likely, but still has a good chance. So we have the Mario Kart DLC. We have the Splatoon 2 DLC. And I think those are the only the Animal Crossing DLC. That's all on the booster track, or on the expansion pass, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think they are going to make one more set of DLC, and it's going to be called the Party Pass, and it is going to be for Mario Party Superstars, and that'll also be part of the expansion pack.
I forgot about that game's existence.
Really? That game was like
it was fun, but like
that game.
It was fun.
I feel like now I've forgotten it, but I feel like initially, like everyone and like all my friends played it for like 50 hours and then dropped it. Like it was really big at first, so it'd be good to get back into it.
Yeah, so I think they're gonna do Mario Party DLC, and for sure, and it's gonna be announced here, and it'll maybe have a booster, or not booster, a party pass that they'll announce in waves.
Alright, so this is one of my last things. I am really hoping to see more of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, especially because we are seeing more elements that people loved from Arceus in there. I hope they show more of what's actually coming from Arceus to Scarlet and Violet, and what's mixing from traditional Pokemon games. I think that'd be great to see, and it will most likely come out in November. That's when they usually come out anyway, so I think we'll definitely see Gen 9. And more about that. Maybe even a Pokemon Presents announcement to talk about that game even more.
Well, I think that's what it would be, right? It'd be a Pokemon Presents, because the Pokemon company's been really weird recently. Like, ever since the world turned upside down in 2020, they've kind of just been doing their own thing, especially more than they used to. So I don't know. I didn't write down anything Pokemon related. I do think we are overdue to see that game. We don't even know the legendaries yet. All right, I have 2 left. I'm gonna start with the light one. And then I guess we'll go back to me eventually. So, Max, you were talking about Kid Icarus Uprising.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about that one specifically. However, I do think we're going to get another 3DS port announced here. Specifically because Grezzo, the team that's been doing like the Zelda remakes, and then they did Miitopia last year, they already have a basis for porting 3DS games to the Switch.
True.
So, my hope would be that it's Ever Oasis, that new IP they made a couple years back that completely failed because it came out after the Switch. That apparently is like super good. People have been telling me on my channel to play it. I haven't gotten around to it, but that'd be cool to see. Just give it a second chance. Or they already did Miitopia. Miitopia did really well on the Switch. Like, I think it's like 4 million copies for a 3DS port. That's insane. So maybe Tomodachi Life.
Yes.
Personally,
I'd
rather see a new game. However, knowing Nintendo, I would not be shocked if they just did a port. And I think that's something they could just shove in like August or September as like a little extra game. I think that makes sense. So I think a 3DS port will be here.
I do agree that Miitopia was definitely trying to test the waters for something like that, seeing how it would do. Tomodachi Life was an amazing 3DS game, so I would absolutely love to see it on the Switch. Whether it's a sequel or a port, or remake, I mean.
Alright, so I also have 2 things left. This first one is a little bit of a two-parter. I think so Bo mentioned Xenoblade 3 cannibalizing Live Alive, which makes me sad. But
Very bad.
as much as I love Xenoblade, I would both gonna be fantastic. I think that we are gonna get one more Live Alive trailer here, and I do not think we're gonna get another Xenoblade trailer here. Because we just got a new Xenoblade trailer, but we haven't gotten a Live Alive trailer since the last Direct. I think we'll get one more.
So, I was gonna agree with you on that, but after the idea that Bo threw around with Torna coming to the expansion pack,
Oh shit.
I feel like, what if they're like, so I know you guys are excited for Xenoblade Chronicles 3. We're happy to announce that Torna is coming to the expansion pack, and then they just show like 20 seconds of Xenoblade 3, and then they just move on.
I think this game just came out recently. It did very well, but you might have noticed that. I mean, it's kind of, in my opinion, it's kind of lackluster in content. I think Switch Sports will finally, probably shadow drop golf. I know they already talked about adding golf later on.
Boxing,
I think
please.
they'll probably announce. I was just about to get to that. I was gonna go with they'll finally announce when golf is coming out. Probably shadow drop it like very close, and then announce hopefully boxing or baseball. Those two need to be in Switch Sports to make it a full game. I feel like Switch Sports is kind of lacking content as of now. I would love to see boxing added though. That'd be great.
Dodgeball was data mined from it apparently.
I don't know if we got any arm stands in the room.
Yes, me.
Oh, fantastic.
Yes.
Okay. Let me tell you a tale about a little team inside Nintendo. Their last game came out in 2014. Or 2017. Okay. So obviously the way Nintendo EPD internally works is very complex. They have different producers and directors working on different games all the time. They kind of just intermingle and do whatever they want. However, the team that makes Mario Kart has not released a game since 2017. Now, yes, they work on tour with DNA, and they, of course, are doing the DLC for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. That does not take a full team. I think we're getting ARMS 2, and I think it'll probably come out this year. Obviously, we're not getting a new Mario Kart on the Switch. That's no chance. The DLC for this game isn't going to be finished until, end of 2023?
Yeah.
I am of the belief that we're not getting a new Switch console, like a sequel, Switch 2 or whatever, until 2024 at the earliest.
Yep.
So I think it is entirely plausible. Maybe it's not ARMS 2, maybe it's just some other new IP, but I want it to be ARMS 2. I think we will see whatever they've been working on, hopefully ARMS 2, released this year, this holiday, November. And really that's just a hope, but I think it makes sense. ARMS did well. People like the trash on it. It did well.
Yeah, it did do well.
So I think it's entirely likely. They put Min in Smash, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, so my last one, don't know how exciting it'll be for you guys, but it has potential to be huge. It was announced to be coming to Switch like 2 years ago now, and we haven't seen it at all since then. I don't think we've never even seen it. We've just heard that it's coming, and I think that it's potential to be Shadow Drops, Genshin Impact for the Switch.
Ooh, I forgot about that. That was announced.
Yeah, I don't remember if we ever saw it. I can't remember if it was just like a soft announcement or anything. But
they did recently reconfirm that it's still being worked on. That is because for some reason I don't know what it is with E3 Directs. It feels like Nintendo likes to have that like big third-party game ever since like Fortnite was announced at E3 with like a big trailer. I see that.
Yeah, even before that was Rocket League.
Yeah. Yeah, Genshin Impact is totally one that, like, obviously is hype for Switch owners, but then Twitter will be like, this game's old, and it's like, dude, it doesn't matter. This game's gonna do incredibly well on Switch, so. I can see that for sure, yeah.
I like it. That kind of reminds me of, it's a third-party game. I just remember that they announced Portal, the Switch, last Direct.
Oh, yeah.
That might give an update.
Oh, I love that.
On that. Maybe another Valve game coming to the Switch. Left 4 Dead 2, please.
Oh.
Please.
Oh,
please.
Left 4 Dead 2 on Switch would make me cry. I would cry. If any Left 4 Dead game, even the first one came to Switch, I'd cry myself.
The Back 4 Blood killer, Left 4 Dead 2.
All right, J. Matthew, plug yourself.
Yep, I'm J. Matthew. You can find me at J. Matthew on YouTube. I make videos sometimes, That's usually how it goes. I'm on Twitter at JMatthew, YouTube, TikTok, everything really. I'm just kind of doing my thing at this point. I already released my big video for the first half of the year, so I'm kind of just going to more casual stuff at this point until TMG happens, which I'm very hyped for. I know Max is too.
Yes.
And yeah, that's all you gotta know about me.
Oh, plug yourself.
Yeah. Well, first of all, Max, thanks for having me. You can find me on Twitter at Botox Media, YouTube Botox Media everywhere. I do pretty much daily videos on collecting and 3DS and Wii U. Not the hottest topic, but it's been fun. I also have a new channel called Shonen Soup for manga and anime stuff, so go check out that.
Nice.
And that's about it.
Tachi, plug yourself.
Thank you for having me, Max. It was a lot of fun. You guys can find me at twitch.tv/Itachi Cosplays. Twitter is also Itachi Cosplays, and Twitch I stream 5 nights a week, no Wednesdays, no Sunday, and you can find my Instagram at Itachi Cosplays as well, _ in between the words for Instagram.
All right, guys, you can find all of them in the description below. I'll put everything on there except J. Matthew's TikTok because I don't like TikTok, so we're moving on from that.
That's fine. I was thinking of things to plug. I didn't really know what to say. Thanks for having us, though. Thanks for having me.
Thank you all for coming on. It was cool to have Bo here as a new person. I'm glad that we're continuing this. It's been fun doing these things. I enjoy having everybody here. Very fun to do. So make sure to check all of them in the description below. As always, guys, we've been talking for too much. Make sure to / that subscribe button. Like the video. Check out everything in the description. There's going to be too much in the description this time, so just check everything out in the description. And also check out the Discord server. I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.